And hello, it is I, the HeroScaper, live in the flesh. Hello, everybody. It's an exciting day. It is unboxing day for me. Uh, don't pay attention to the mini me. Well, I can't fix it. But it's a big day. Years in the making. 2 years. Firstly, just waiting for all this to get approved through the HasLab campaign and through Renegade kind of getting everything together. To 14 years prior after the game got canceled. It's been a long time coming. I'm really excited. Admittedly, I have had some early pieces released. I've tried to kind of disconnect those pieces mentally for this experience because I'm really happy. I'm just really excited to kind of dive into these boxes, get my hands on the actual packaging, the materials, just kind of really kind of go through. There's been several other unboxings, so probably nothing too new. Most people are kind of getting their stuff, but I'll be giving my thoughts on the process as well as I kind of go through it. And if you just want to chat about the release or anything else, feel free to, because honestly, I miss people. After I have like ScapeCon withdrawals where I don't have any skate buddies nearby to talk about this stuff. So I guess without further ado, let's dive right into it and see what the boxes have got to offer. There we go. I think we're looking pretty good here. All right, let's open Sergeant Drake first here. And I like the packaging on. Angle it. So we have sort of Drake here, jet propulsing. After a night of Taco Bell, he has the major leaps. It's kind of an interesting dynamic to have Drake be flying now. I admittedly like the early concept art where he had kind of wings as like an honorary Kyrie, but this is a lot more economical. I saw some of these at ScapeCon. I was actually kind of doing triage on some of the faces, so let's see how mine turned out. And this is definitely a figure I want to do some touch-ups on. I've seen some people do paint the flames, paint the swords, paint all that kind of stuff. We kind of live in this weird age where your pre-paints are very easily adaptable to whatever you like. Not that I know anything about painting or like it or anything like that. I'm going to open this in a careless manner. I like these little boxes. I mean, it's kind of a lot of packaging for one figure, admittedly, but I'm kind of back and forth on what I want to do with these boxes. I probably will keep them for a bit. I'm still trying to kind of get the original skate boxes just to put on my wall because they do have some pretty cool art. Now, visually, this is just a kind of a nice compact box. It's kind of got your basic stuff on it here. But yeah, let's crack it open. This is like crazy, just new Scape after so long. So we have a piece of paper here. Sergeant Drake Alexander. Drake Alexander has always been a man of principle. On Earth, he fought to defend the rights and liberties of his fellow humans from the encroaching Reich. During a fateful battle, moments before certain death, the Valkyrie General intervened. The Valkyrie Jandar intervened. Drake's noble heart now beats in the strange and distant lands of Valhalla. Jandar promised Drake that if he fought against the vile Ukar, he would one day be returned to his homeland. As have so many before him, Drake agreed. And through time and countless battles have since passed, Drake is no closer to seeing Jandar's promise fulfilled. Through it all, one of his closest friends remains the Kyrie Raylan. She may appear now to have joined the enemy, but Drake knows better. He remains at the ready to aid her however she can. Yeah, I guess so. Alright. So we got this nice tight packaging that I always hate. And let's see if I can get a bit closer. Alright, so we got Drake right here. Mine came out pretty good. I definitely am going to go through and add some metallics to this jetpack. And I think, yeah, like it's always like a nice sturdy plastic Mine doesn't look too bad, just a slightly pale face. But yeah, I picked some that were green swords at EscapeCon. But mine came out pretty intact. Tough to get this single figure. Alright, so mine came out pretty intact. And yeah, it's honestly got a lot of detail on it. My color really matches kind of that original Drake color scheme. I've seen some that were a little bit more greener, but like mine really just feels right. Like this feels it's nice and sturdy. It looks good on the map. And increase the brightness of this a bit, because it's a little dark. There you go. There we go. That should be a bit better. All right, so we got Drake right here. Nice little guy. And let's look at the card. Now, okay, so admittedly the cards are probably my biggest gripe over the release so far. It's just not my favorite, but also it's not as bad as I initially thought it would be. It's just honestly a game piece, you know. It's just you look at it for text, you know, you could have a PDF file with the same information. So it's not enough to ruin my experience. It's interesting that he's a medium 6 now, mainly because of the height of the propulsion. It kind of made him physically taller. I love the grapple grab ability that he possesses, and you know, gonna have Thorian speed. So overall, just a great little release. Not bad for having to pay nothing for it. You know, you can't really complain too much. All right, what should we go to next? Let's go to the painted battle box. These boxes are really great. I was like unsure at first of kind of the art and the stylings, but they really do kind of capture the eye, really have a nice centerpiece on them. You have that little exclusive window there, and really nice visuals on the back. Honestly, I think that's kind of understated, is really how well, excuse me, the back kind of illustrates the game. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at this here. I like that you have creatures on both sides. All the sides of it. I think that's a nice little detail. And HeroScape says, never noticed the new Drake is medium 6, but it makes it given the sculpt. It's definitely an issue of sculpt versus kind of mechanics, you know, but I mean he's pretty tall comparatively to the old Drake. And so I guess it makes sense. And hello, Katura. Nice for you to stop by. I finally got the new stuff in hand, so it's like Christmas Day for me. So we got this. Yeah, I do just see the Wellspring water. Now, I wish it was a bit more pearlescent. I've seen some fixes online of people kind of doing it, but we'll see. We'll kind of look at it. But overall, this packaging is a lot nicer than I thought it would be. You know, I'm so used to having a mic here, keep on trying to talk into it, but I have a check on up today. I need to get it exacted here with scissors like a barbarian. I'm really bad at opening packages. Like, I just want to rip it open like a toddler, but I do kind of want to save the boxes, just if for nothing else, to mount on my wall or as display pieces. I have been working on remodeling my whole studio garage just to house all this new stuff I'm getting. So, you know, it's a bit of work in progress now. That's kind of why I'm at this angle, different than where I'm normally at. It's a mess. Nice snow fit. We have our first look at the trees and the pre-painted units. So I have been kind of working through painting some of these units that Renegade sent me. James Bush says Renegade did some solid work on the presentation. I agree. I think so far this doesn't feel cheap. I think honestly the pictures online make it look a lot worse. Like when you look at like that little JPEG image of it, it doesn't look good. But in person, it's got that presence. You know, it's got like that strong box art like the HeroScape has, or like HeroQuest, or some other games. You know, they say not to judge a book by its cover, but really like board games, that's what you got to do. The cooler the cover of a board game, the more likely you are just to have it sit in your shelf as you wait for friends to play with you. So we have, let's see, what should I get to first? What are the characters? So we have, let me go at a tighter angle here. Oh, not a wider angle. All right. So we have Biabani here. It's not bad. I will say I've been working on this unit. I'm actually working on the painting tutorial for Pia now. That there's a lot of details in here, and I think they do a pretty good job of capturing them. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of the model itself. I don't think that's anyone's fault. I just don't like how the hair goes over the chest piece. Visually, it kind of makes it a bit messy. Also the black hair and the black cloak makes it a bit distracting, but it is still a really unique pose and a really unique figure. It's kind of like we have a Mando at home type of vibe. And really looking forward to your painting tutorial on Bakburna. Recruiting the old Marl skin tone has been notoriously difficult. Let me tell you something. I have been working for years on refining this. Blast Shark, another content creator, they made a really excellent video that I've referenced a lot. I have some techniques I've been working on that hopefully will kind of get that desired look. I'm almost there. I think I'm 90% there. But we're getting close because I know a lot of people want Morrow. That's the, once we crack the Morrow, you know, it's everything else is kind of icing. You know what? People have been saying that they don't like this model too much. I really like this. Too bright? Let me just adjust this one more time, because I don't want to just lower my ISO. I'm sorry about that. There we go. All right, so yeah, I really love this model. I've actually painted one recently, and I like that it's just a drudge with a personality. You know, I kind of wish that was more in the lore. It was essentially just a drudge that kind of broke off from the hive. I think that would be a lot more interesting than kind of its current status. Admittedly, the lore behind some of these new units, I guess I should talk about that for a moment, because I do have opinions on it. Doesn't affect how you play the game. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter at all. But it does matter because lore creates a connection to the character. The problem I have with the lore currently, and it's a problem I have with a lot of modern writing, is that there is no conflict presented. There is an absence of a villain, and there is an absence of motivation. So, you know, Bakburna just being a nice guy who wants to return, like there's no conflict there. There's just not a story to tell. I hope we can dive deeper into it. I'm hoping that, you know, I think the lore is probably the weakest part, and thankfully that's also a part that doesn't affect how you play the game. I think the only downside of this pre-painted figure, which I actually really like, put a little red wash on it, and he'll look really, really nice, is that kind of messiness on the base. But I don't like the bases anyway. I plan on adding a texture. I'm trying to figure out the best way to present the bases, because solid brown, I'm not a super big fan of. But I know that there's that sticker look. I tried painting it green. I wasn't a fan of the look. Some people can do it better than I can. So I'm still deciding. Right now, I like putting texture on the bases, although I know that's kind of counterintuitive to what most people like. We have our Anshu here, our little owl boy. This is actually a really nice model. The pictures don't show how really detailed this is. It's actually, I think, one of the better pre-painted things here. Like, I think, okay, so nowadays everyone has cameras that are capable of macro features. They have, are able to get a lot closer than they were 10 years ago. So the pictures don't look good because you see every flaw. As a mini painter, that's something I always have to overcome, is because it's tougher for what I do because I have to have my camera, like right here, like right getting all the detail just to showcase it off. But you really start to think you're not a good painter when you do that, when you see every brush stroke, every little line you missed. But, models are supposed to be looked at like this distance. From here, it actually looks fine. Even up close, like I really like the three eyes. This is a really fun one. I would paint the beak a little bit just to give it some distinction, but this is going to be a really fun one to paint, just like the details. The good thing about these models is that they're really detailed, but they're really simple, in form and structure. I think my least favorite units are the pirates, not because of their playstyle, but they just have so many belts and buckles that you can ignore. But when I do painting tutorials, I try to kind of get a more complete look. So it just takes time getting all these filled in correctly with midtones and layering up. It's just it's tedious work for me, but they come out pretty good. The owl guy is Anshu. That's Aquila. So Aquila's got a lot of new units in this release. Kind of officially Aquila is kind of a main character now. So she's got a lot stronger presence. All of these kind of animal and wizard guys are. Is it Aquila or Aquila? I'm gonna mispronounce everything, so I'm sorry. We have Kita the Spring Runner. Now this isn't. I think the paint job is decent. This is going to be a really fun one to paint. This is one I think that's going to look better painted than pre-painted. Just because you can do so much with this texture and its fur. I've seen some people start painting this like Twig from Hilda, so that I have a couple battle boxes. I think I have 3 just for giveaways and for doing alternate paint schemes. So this is going to be a fun one to have some alts for. The gold face is really unique. I like that these creatures are kind of like hodgepodge myth beast with just kind of some standard animals thrown in. I really love the concept behind these guys. And I hope we get some more beast, some like whole beast army, because I think that's what the faction really is missing. There's just a lot more beast to choose from for a specific cause. We have Awashia here. This is a really good pre-painted model. See if we can focus. Yeah, look at this. There's just a lot going on. Honestly, this is one that I may cheat on and use an airbrush, just because there's a lot of curves and angles. I probably won't for the sake of the tutorial, but for my own private painting, it's just a little bit tedious kind of going through here. But this is a really great model. This is a model that will be hard to rebase for those looking, because it's just the whole thing is connected to the plastic here. But the gold, blue, and purple is a really nice color scheme. I think this is one of the better color schemes. NGC, which I was a part of, kind of made their own version off an STL file we found. I actually made a tutorial for it. It's one of my earlier tutorials. I feel like I might paint my own Awashia in that color scheme, kind of greens and blues, just as an homage to that. Because I owe that group a lot. They really encouraged me to keep on painting and kind of kept on. Ursula? Not you? No. Awashia. Awashia probably is what you meant to say. We have Killian Vane here. I just painted this guy. I think I want more details than this. This is a good guy. I think the face, like the skin tones, are probably the weakest parts of these models. I think that there was some kind of skin tones are hard. But I think that's kind of the models that don't have skin tones really do shine through. But I like this guy. I like his Ron Swanson mustache. I like his kind of unique sword. And he feels very classic scapey. I think this model the most feels like a unit you would get in classic scape. So really, really great. The black is interesting. We have a little bit of spec here. That's fine. And yeah, it's just a really nice and simple model. We have kind of this steampunk, futuristic pirate look going for. I think this is the most historical unit we got in the whole release. You know, even with his kind of modifications. If you took the gas mask off, he would feel like a pirate. You know, your standard pirate. These pre-painteds don't do justice to how much small little details are on the models. Like when you get the pre-painted and you really kind of like dive into it, they're so finely detailed. But like not in a bad way. Like there's some models that are really finely detailed and are miserable to paint. They still paint and flow really well. I probably will be going through a quick kind of tutorial on how to touch up some models really easily if that's kind of what you're looking for. But these models look great. I think all the hubbub about their quality was maybe for naught. Good night, Katura. I hope you have a great night, my sister. So we got these new tiles. I have them here just to kind of test them. They feel really crisp. Like they feel new. I want to do the endurance test to see how. It's so nice being able to do this and not have it snap in half. You know, if you look at like my tiles here, they've seen better days. It's also one of the reasons like why I'm so glad Escape is coming back. I want to play this game with my kids. You know, I was really worried about all my tile collection would kind of go away by the time my kids were old enough to play. But yeah, we got some fresh new terrain. It seems really durable. Connects well. Again, this is stuff everyone else has already tested. Let's see kind of. It might just be a little tight. Not bad. Alright, look at this. They probably just need to be loosened up. They feel just a tad bit snug, more snug compared to Escape and the classic Escape pieces. But man, there we go. I mean, it was just the first couple. Yeah, so good amount of terrain for the shadow box. I mean, would I give this to someone just to start? Yeah, you can buy it online for $35. This is a really good way to get a friend invested in. Just give them a set. Look at all these plentiful shiny parts right here. Like, that's really nice. That's probably the best part about these releases, just the bountiful shiny tiles. Now let's look. Yeah, it's okay. I like it. It's great. I do hope we start seeing some more maps with wellspring water in it, just because I do think it's pretty cool. Just kind of playing now, just playing with my toys. But yeah, I think it's I think this release is definitely trying to patch some things that are kind of wrong. with HeroScape. You know, it's a fun game, but it does have some issues. You know, comments are really they're overbearing at times. Let me tell you, after ScapeCon, after losing to commons ad nauseum, it's nice that heroes and unique squads are getting a bit stronger, get some buffs. I really hope we start using more treasure glyphs and those come back, because honestly, that was a great way that heroes could really be a lot more impactful. Now, here are the trees. I do just love these trees. I think they're better than classic Tikala. The cactuses are unique. They actually act as line of sight blockers. And I really like the feel of the plastic of the ferns, the fronds. These are going to be really fun ones. Like with a simple dry brush, you can really kind of buff up these trees and make them really unique. You know, especially like this cactus stuff. You can even paint the vine, I think, is what's around this. You know, just... There's that slight wobble that has been reported on, but there you go. Let's put it there. And Mega Silver says, treasure glyphs confirmed becoming the glyph pack as revealed in the Gen Con panel. I am glad you were there, Mega Silver, because otherwise we would have had no information about this. No one. Yeah, so I'm excited for more treasure glyphs. I hope they see some more competitive play. I'm just dipping my toe in the competitive, but I haven't seen a lot in my tenure there. But man, I really like these trees. I think the trees are the standout for me. Do they just feel so solid? And I'm looking forward to having. I mean, okay. So admittedly, I own like 3 sets of Tikala Jungle because I bought them on sale when they were going on a Walmart, and I'm a lucky boy. But I like them. I use my HeroScape terrain for like D&D and other RPGs, other games I play. So now I'm looking to run some jungle stuff. There's a lot of nasty stuff that could befall my party that's been getting a bit too cocky in the jungle. Probably not now, because we're playing Icewind Dale, and it's cold out there. But you never know. Maybe they'll find an iceberg that melts, and there's like Ice Age 3 nonsense in here. I'm just kind of playing. We got some more tiles. Including the Bolt of Witherwood treasure from the online scenario. That's really interesting, because wasn't that a D&D scenario? Or am I reading that wrong? Remember that wrong. But they do seem to fit a bit snugglier. But it has. Yeah, this battle box got everything you need. I didn't know it had the we do use treasure glyphs at local events. The map comes with it. We have them preset to face up like a power glyph. So you know we were trying to pick up, but trap is still active. That's really interesting. Yeah, I would love to play with more treasure glyphs. Let's see, what is my favorite glyph I've played on so far? Because I never used to play with glyphs. I played, pretty casually. I was like, what the heck are these things? The only glyphs I ever used were Might and Soul and the one that summons sometimes. But I really like Manic Loaded. Just +2 to D20 rolls. Disengage is a really fun one that I don't feel is too overpowered. I don't like Wanlock. I get why Wanlock is there. I just don't like it because I always lose to Wanlock. But I think it's healthy. I never have Wanlock when I need it. Like, when there's like a hard to kill unit or just like I always have it when I'm like, I don't need to sit still. I need to be on the offensive. But that's exciting. Yeah, the glyph pack is going to be really good. Yeah, there's a good amount of terrain in this. I think, honestly, the battle bot is the best deal if you're looking to get an escape. It's really just, there's a lot here. Like, I'm still building this. I mean, this is admittedly just this, but this is like enough to play a little mini skirmish on. I'm really impressed with this. Here's the crisp 24 hex which we've been hearing about. Okay, maybe I'm in the wrong in this, but I kind of like the crisp look. I don't know. I kind of like them. I'm not gonna lie. I like how they look a little bit sharper. But it's kind of weird how they don't have the little ridges on them. Huh. Yeah, that's really interesting. Like, the big part is like the detail, like, it's like smoothed out. I don't know if I would like this like on every tile or not, but I kind of like that it's easier to kind of be in the center of the piece, you know? I don't know. I'm kind of neutral on the crisp tiles. Because I kind of like them. I don't know. They look different. They look sharper. But maybe that's part of the problem. Okay, we got... Okay. Got the bag of bits. Wound markers look exactly the same. I like the black powder markers. I mean, they're simple, but... yeah, glyphs are a disappointment, but on the plus side, it's really easy to make your own glyphs now. You just find an image and make a silhouette of it. So for custom glyph design, that's a win. But it could be better. But again, that's like a thing that doesn't affect how you play, so it gets a pass. Yeah, the little battle box be a loss leader. I hope they kind of release a couple more. I don't know if that was revealed or not, but like one more battle box, just kind of like a different terrain type, would be really nice. But yeah, you got the tree, you got the water. Like, this is really nice. Like, I'm really impressed with the battle box. This is not enough dice, though, for for what you need. Thankfully, I have a bunch, but I'm trying to kind of get in the mindset of someone just starting this off and opening this up. And yeah, I would be like, oh, I would be very careful not to lose your dice if this is what you started opening. Yeah, but this is a really great, I think the battle box is really great so far. Overall, really good presentation, nice, well packaged. Here's the rule book and the kind of information that comes with it. I heard there's some issues with these. I don't play too much scenarios, but I'll have to check them out. I like that they have bios. That's kind of nice. I don't know if Escape actually had, like, original Escape releases had that. But yeah, this is really, really nice here. Yes, every 2 years, a new master set and probably battle box alongside the master set. Now that's nice. I think that's a really good release schedule. I am kind of worried about like the second wave of release for this, just because I hope they don't overproduce and have like too much stock type of deal. I like this rule book. This is like a nice, thick rule book here. Like, it's nice. Like the old ones kind of were more papery, if memory serves me well. This is nice. I get that feeling. See, I've looked through the PDF. It seems like there's nothing new in this. And it's good that it's in the box. Alright, here are the cards. I mentioned this before. I was originally going to make a video on how I would redesign a HeroScape card, but it kind of ended up being too mean in the script, so I dropped it. But honestly, there's things I change, but they're not bad. Really, the biggest loss on these cards is the dual coloring. You know, you like Einar is tan and purple. Having it be primarily purple, I feel like you lose a bit of that visual. They do try to kind of put it on the background a bit, but I would probably try to put more of that secondary color in the background. I I do wish, maybe I'm the only person who wishes this, that Revna was orange, because I feel like that would be really, really unique. But since kind of Revna killed Valkyrie, it makes sense that she kind of stole a bit of his colors. Yeah, I mean, they're nice and sturdy, though. I mean, that's the thing, they don't feel flimsy. Really, I like the art on the back part. I do wish we didn't have the basic side in this version, admittedly. And maybe fish got mine and say, but I had to work tonight and too tired to crack it all open. I feel ya. This is me powering through, but I'm a little too excited just to wait. And every day I wait, someone else opens it. This becomes less and less relevant. But I really like this purple. The purple order markers are really nice. I still think the Storm of the Morrow tops these, but I do like these better than the Dungeons & Dragons order markers. I really hope in the two, like the numbers are really nice and legible. I really hope we get some black ones someday, or like white ones. There's a lot of fun things you can do with order markers. I foresee them doing kind of like limited release order markers, just because it's like a mold that you just change the color of. But yeah, overall battle box, I give it. This is probably a really good release. I'm really happy with it. I don't like giving things numerical scores, but probably overall 8 out of 10. Small, just kind of issues on the pre-painted models and the cards kind of bring it down a bit, but really you can't get a better deal than this. Like, this is almost like it's not like Master Set Rise of the Valkyrie level, but it's a pretty comparative deal nowadays. The D&D ones are bright purple, and these are dark purple. Yeah, I really like the dark purple. As a painter, I really like the purple, because purple is a really fun color to work with. There's a lot of flexibility because it works as a good undershade for yellow. It transitions well to red or blue. It's a good in-between for a lot of colors just because of where it sits in the color wheel. It's a great color. So that there's so much purple in this set has really got me excited when I'm working on them. Just layering up purple is really great. Let's slide these guys out of here. This is great. Now I just gotta figure out where I'm gonna put it all. Alright. I'll open. Maybe I won't go through and open the unpainted, but I might. I won't be as thorough with it. I'll mix it up a bit. Let's see here. Do I want to open up the painted or the unpainted master set? Let's open up the painted, because that's actually things I haven't seen yet. Oh. Okay, so let's look at the box art first. Let's see if we can zoom out any wider. All right, so I'm not as big a fan of this box art as compared to the battle box. I think I don't think it's bad. I know the original Master Box art that Avalon Hill had, and I love that art. It's a lot more dynamic interaction with it. This one is really good, but kind of I do a lot of graphic design and visual stuff. Where is your eye focusing at? Instantly you go here because this is kind of on the line, but everything else here is kind of inconsequential. You know, you have kind of these stories being told, but not really like a way to follow it, if that makes sense. Like, Sinithrax is really good. Imagine if Sinithrax was right here, really big, kind of in the center, a bit bigger, kind of guiding your vision, because traditionally we look left to right. Also, kind of some of the, like, maybe I'm nitpicky, but like the fact that there's more than 4 frost claws kind of bothers me. And there's so much sand here, but there's not like a sand presence. You know, there's not like a sand theme in the box. I wish we had some more trees in it, kind of really focused on this area. And also we have like a 4-armed blue orc over here. That should be a Skodar. Like it's not bad. But definitely like not my favorite, but I like it. Like I'm not gonna trash on this. But the back of the box again is really nice. Just really sells you on it. It kind of feels very classic scapey right here. Very informative, very clear. And like this part I think is really good. Like all that. This thing is so big though. I can't even imagine what the size of the what the size of the like Valgard edition of the Master Set would be. Like, would it be like this big? Like, that's just I don't even know. Okay, big prop though on presentation. It's been talked about. The flap. Like the flap bumps this up so high. It's nostalgic. It's really great, actually. Kind of, you're in the store, you flip it open, and you just see a lot there. Like, there's just kind of, it's very interactive, and I think HeroScape as a game is interactive. You know, that's why the castles, although they aren't used a lot, are really fun because they're a very interactive game mechanic. I think that's when HeroScape works best, is when you kind of get on its level, put on your hat you have when you're 9, and just kind of get in that mindset. You know, so this is just great. This reminds me of like those old like action figures, you know, that had like kind of the flap that would open up and you could see all the details about it. Yeah, this is really great. Oh, it's so heavy. This thing is intense. Okay, now we gotta figure out how to open this thing without breaking the box. Although, of course, now I'm gonna have to lug these boxes around. Certainly got space for that. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. But this flap is really big. This flap, just back to the flap again. But this flap says, hey, we listen, we care. You know? I'm trying to give an honest opinion about this, but I'm really not trying to dog it. One, because I'm too excited. And two, positivity. Man, this thing is massive. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, let's get in position. Look at that. Get that plastic in fixation. The crisp 24 hexers. Okay, look at this. This does bring me back. Wow, yeah, I'm almost emotional right now. I'm not gonna lie. Like this, I was 9 years old, and my parents had some friends who were kind of like, they didn't know it, but they were kind of big influences on my life. They played this game a lot. They were kind of like older, but they would let me play. I always chose the Omnicrons because I thought they looked like stormtroopers. And then when I was 9 years old, I got it for Christmas, and I just kind of remember opening this box. Muhammad Ganatra, welcome to the chat. This is a board game called HeroScape. The figures can be used for D&D. It has kind of essentially it's a game, a rules light war game that has interlocking hex terrain that you can build and set up maps, and then every character has stats that you can use to fight each other. So it's really fun. It's kind of like, let's describe it like Risk, kind of a Risk mindset, or it's not like 40K. I played 40K, but it's not D&D. But the pieces are able to be used for D&D, and they are able to be kind of used however you like. So we are kind of opening this box. The game was discontinued for 14 years, and now it's back. So we got the wings right here. I'm gonna hold these off for later. And let's just start going with figures. Let's get a bit closer. All right. So we have the elf. Elf has kind of more of a purplish skin. This is my favorite silver scimitar, I think, out of the mix. Actually, no, the four-armed green guy. This is my second favorite one. And it's okay. This guy is really fun to paint up. I almost want to go grab and show the difference between the what you can build up to, but they have a really solid color scheme. Again, the flesh just seems slightly off. Not a big problem. HeroScape flesh has kind of a wide range of tones itself. They're actually more commonly like tan. They have kind of a tannish coat to them. So not bad. Again, from far away, you can't tell it. These guys could definitely use kind of a bit stronger wash just to really accent all the stuff. James, yeah, I'll certainly be checking for the warping. I'm sorry about that noise. I have cicadas, I think, right outside my area. Okay, so the frost claws, I say, not my favorite. But you got a really good base here. You want to paint your frost claws, you want to save a bunch of steps. It's missing some paint there. I think the frost claws just as could use a dry brush. Dry brush a little bit of off-white on these guys, paint the nose and teeth, and then you're cooking pretty good. But these are such detailed models that that this makes me a bit sad to see it like this. By the way, if you want to learn how to paint frost claws from the ground up, I did make a video about that. You can check that out on my channel. If you really want to kind of improve your frost claw game. But again, they're serviceable. I think the biggest problem with these guys is lack of a nose and teeth. Honestly, if they had that, I think they'd be a bit more catch the eye. But you don't use a wash on white unless you want gray. Look at the kind of Duzete, and I've only ever played basic board games like Monopoly. What do you recommend? Is this a good one for beginners? This is a great game for beginners. If you're kind of looking into getting some kind of different games, this is a really excellent option. It's called HeroScape. It's originally was designed for kind of 8-year-olds, but it has a really active and vibrant community. There's some really fun games. I play a lot of games when I have a chance. It just kind of depends on the group of people you're around and what you like to do. This is a game where there's strategy involved, but it's heavily determined usually by chance, dice rolls. So it's very kind of back and forth. You could be the best player at this game and still whiff and kind of fall apart. It's kind of, I call this game like the Smash Bros of board games. It's kind of, there's a bunch of characters from across timelines. Anyone can show up, and it's a game kind of made as a party game, but once you get good at it, you're really good at it, type of deal. But this is a great game for beginners. Someone looking to kind of step their toe into miniature games, war games, definitely recommend it. You probably wouldn't be able to find a better version of a game like this to jump into. We have the Knight Irene. A little bit better. I think this one has, I think just the sculpt gives it a bit more of a presence compared to the Frost Claws. The Frost Claws were hard to paint when I was painting them, just because of areas like here in the crevices. It takes a bit of skill. But Irene, they were able to kind of buff up the color a bit to more of a pure white, so that looks really good. But yeah, not bad. Let's see. So we have the orcs here. My orc actually came out pretty good. I've seen some that don't look as good as this. Mine came out really good. The orc skin's pretty close. It needs a darker wash to fully match. Also, this is a small nitpick. But the orcs' heads are smaller than Classic Scape. And again, this isn't something that bothers me, but the orcs just have slightly bigger heads and bigger proportions. I don't mind it as much with the people, like the humanoids, but the orcs just kind of feel a little bit smaller. Like I wish they made them just a tad bit bigger. This is a really good model. This right here is looks really good pre-painted. Just kind of the pose is really open to the colors. I'm happy with this. I'm still trying to figure out how to make a tutorial for the various varied factions, because like they all have separate instructions for each one. This guy looks really good out of the box. I'm really happy with this guy. This guy feels very escapey. He's vibrant, he's punchy, he's big. Yeah, this is definitely the best guy in the out of the box right here. Like, look at that. Like, that's really nice. Here you got a little shading on the blades. Yeah, there wasn't like I painted mine and he looks almost like this. Like there isn't much I would change on this. I mean, you can always make things better, but he's pretty cool. All right, it's kind of going through. We got EJ. Not bad. Like I don't know if the gray was supposed to be a part of this or if it's just but the lack of silver arms is disappointing. Why did they stop making the game for 14 years? Just because it kind of ran its course, production issues, and also they sold the company to the game ownership was sold to a different company, which made some kind of poor decisions in the marketing and release of it. Like you see, all of this is kind of part of the game. It's a very plastic heavy, big game to produce, and back in late mid 2000s, it had some bad release strategies, which ultimately kind of caused the game not to be able to be sustained. But really got canceled just because it was sold to Wizard of the Coast, and they wanted to focus more on D&D than this game. But it's kind of been back now, and even though the game's been discontinued for 14 years, people still play this. I just went to a convention called ScapeCon, where there was like 80 people who flew in and drove across the country to play this game. And so it's still got a very vibrant community. Interestingly, the cape is metallic on the pre-painted. It has like a metallic sheen to it, which is really interesting. I love this model. This is a really easy model to paint up. This is probably my favorite model to paint. So if you're disappointed in your EJ, definitely get an unpainted one and paint it up, because this is really easy. This is a great way to practice your dry brushing, and you can really make this guy pop. Why does he have like metallic pants? That's so interesting. Like, that's so weird. It's not like bad. It's just different. It really is kind of crazy how the fans have just focused on this game. Okay, I might rant about these guys for a bit. So I like them. I like the look of it. Too much green, first off. There's green. It is just, overall, it's a swamp of green. When I'm painting these guys, I'm just working really hard to differentiate the green. But what species are these? No one knows. No one's answering my question. I keep on bugging Renegade about this. I'm like, where do they come from? Are these Vipers from Mar? Are they aliens from a different planet? We don't know anything about these guys, and I want to know because they're cool. They're like kind of like snake reptile folk, but no one. They're part of a squad, so they don't have any unique information to themselves. But I like green, so they get a pass even though they're kind of overwhelmingly green. Uh, Especially that green blade. I'm working on really kind of teaching a tutorial on how to make some good power blades for these guys. Yeah, it's just various on the card. That doesn't tell me anything about this. Make me mad. Like, we know this is a human from Humania. But for some reason the blade is like a little speckled here. Bad though. This is one of the better skin tones. These are really fun units. It's actually helpful seeing these pre-painted varieties so I can kind of know where the colors fall. This guy's a little weirdo. Although I do like him. I love green. Like, green's my favorite color. Olar is my favorite general. So this is just a really good scheme. I almost feel like these guys in the Knave should be switched generals because they don't feel Revna-y to me. But that's just more my thing. Or am I getting mixed up? These guys are Akgar, and they feel more Revna-y to me. We have Miserex here. This is a model that's going to be really fun to paint. I think this is one that didn't translate well to pre-painted, but it has a good skin tone and a good base here. But there's so much texture and flow. Building up bone texture is one of my favorite things to do. If you're looking to get into painting, buy a bunch of skeletons. Buy a bunch of skeletons and practice on those because you'll learn a lot of fundamentals of painting. And so there's bones, and this is going to be a really fun one. I'm excited to dive into this one. I think this is one that I didn't think I'd be excited for, but kind of once I saw the pre-painted and the it's not bad. It's like a good, it gets the idea across, but there's a lot you can do with this to make it really stand out. And this is probably the best model in the Exiles. It's just really, you kind of get a sense of the figure. This is a little messed up, but that's not a problem. You kind of get it. Nice. Like, this model has a bit more separation compared to this guy and kind of knowing where the colors are. So it kind of stands out a bit more. Yeah, it's tough when your skin tone and your clothes are very similar colors visually. But not bad. I mean, they look great. I got some more bears. The bears are definitely the weakest part of these release, I think. Because they're so nice. The bears are so cool looking. If you put a little work on them. But not bad. Like, so far, none of these, like, majorly need touch-ups. Like, they're all serviceable, except for the bears. The bears would probably need to be touched up a bit. Now, this unit's going to be really fun to get going, just because of all the texture on it. Some simple dry brush and painting these mushrooms a vibrant color. I'm really looking forward to that. This guy's so creepy. Like, I wish he was better, but maybe he will get better with time. Yeah, really cool guy. This is a great guy if you want to use it for like D&D, like a Wendigo, or anything like that. Really would fill that role. We got Durham here, and yeah, Durham is okay. He's a little too pink for me. Not bad. I like, actually, they did a good job of muting these yellows on it. I thought they'd be a lot more vibrant. And the axe looks really nice. I don't know what they did with the axe, but like for some reason it just kind of has all the details and the kind of the two color tones looks really nice on it. Having kind of the beard the same color as the hat, or is that a hat? Yeah, I would definitely try to differentiate those two because it kind of creates a sea of red. Yeah, for Rakshot, his texturing on the base, yeah, it's really interesting. I wish all these units had a little texture on the bases. It would really help out. That way, you don't have to like texture it or do a lot of extra work. You can just kind of dry brush it, and it'll look really nice. That's kind of input because flat brown bases are tough. I love two-tone bases, you know, green on top and brown on the sides, just because you need that contrast to really help it stand out. We really got this right here. This is a great unit. This is a really good one. This is going to be a really fun one to paint up. I love working with reds. Reds are a really fun color, a very strong, prominent color. And yeah, that silver and gold. This is a really good unit. It looks really great as is, but you can do a lot with it. So you can really make this one sing and pop. Just so excited. All right. We got the bits and bops again. Look through those. I'm going to look through the glyphs quickly. Yeah, these are okay. I have to look what these do because I don't remember. Sudden movements, disengage. I know what those do. Glyph removal is a fun one. And Mind Soul. Yeah, it's. I feel like they could have even gone for a more simplistic design if they kind of committed to it. You know, like I don't mind the icons, but I think the icons and the grass texture, like if you were just going to do icons, do like a simple texture, like a gray texture or something. And we got this last Frostclaw. Yeah, he's. Which one's the derpiest? I have to say this one's the derpiest. So this one's pretty close. Buy plastic. All right. This is definitely the best painted model in the whole box so far. Look at this. Like, even if I worked in painting on this, it would take a... I mean, there's a lot more you can do with it. But this is really great. Yeah, those green glyph backgrounds. Yeah, like imagine if they had kind of like the symbol, but just some, visually there's some stuff you could do with it. Definitely feels more of an afterthought, but it's not big enough issue to really make me bother. But man, this is really good. They put all their effort onto Evil Rayland right here. Like, look at this. Like, I'm so impressed. They didn't just do black. They did this satin black or glossy black. They have the lines, the fade. Like this is really great. Just add a little bit of like wash to the teeth and the armor, and you're cooking. Like, I love this. I love this unit. This feels really good. Like if this was a D&D figure, like a box, you would be paying like $30-$40 for this. Like this is great. This is really good. We got old Thinithrax. I wonder if they were trying to make... This is a unique one. I'm putting this together here. I got some warp on the base here. Just a bit of a bow. It still sits. It kind of wobbles. Just a bit. Wonder why that is. Maybe just the material they use. The packaging. But this is... It almost feels like a different material in this base. Like this one feels more rubbery. And this one feels kind of more plasticky, if that makes sense. Like this base for some reason has a different material. Is it a different thickness? I think it's the same thickness. But I think the main issue why there's warping is it's a rubber compared to a plastic. But it's kind of see this unit assembled. Yeah, they did a really good job with Evil Raylan. I think that's where they put a lot of their effort on, because it's a really hard paint schematic. You know, anything with like individual lines on it is hard to do. Plus, they even went and did like tufts on the eyes, and then you have a mounted figure. This is a really great model. I really like this. Is really great. I mean, I I don't know how I feel about the whole story behind it, but it's cool. It's got that Saturday morning vibe to it that you just gotta love. We'll have to put this on. This is definitely, I think, Xenothorax is one that benefits really well from painting as well. It's a really easy paint, and it's really easy to buff up. It's just a big ol' the enemy of autofocus here. Yeah, it's pretty sure it's the base material. Gives Zenny a few hot cold baths, trying to flatten the base. That's what I've seen the fixing line. It's easily fixable. Even just kind of bending a bit fixes it. What's the tail? There we go. Yeah, this is, yeah, I'll have to do the cold bath. But I'll probably just cut the base off and put it on a standard base. It's a pretty easy model to do that for. But, yeah, I mean, it's a cool model. It doesn't have the same panache as, like, say, Memory or some of the other HeroScape dragons. I think ultimately it comes down to color. Because fundamentally you have a yellow-brown here kind of as your base, but there's no, visually when you look at color, you're looking for contrast. So I think if they went for a silver armor on this, it would stand out a lot more. In my painting tutorial, I tried to brighten up and differentiate the colors just slightly, just to kind of allow your eye to flow it. But for those kind of looking to do their own improvements, don't add a wash to this model. You want to add a dry brush. Just a lighter color onto these areas will really make it pop out. But great model. This is a HeroScape model. It's a bit big. Honestly, I wish the tails weren't so obtrusive. It does make for somewhat hard gameplay. I have another Xenothorax, I've been working on. But it's a cool figure. I mean, it's a showstopper. Personally, I have more problems with the unit design. It's really cool, but I wish she was kind of a powerhouse in her own, where the glyphs stayed around longer. As of now, she has some issues in play. I wish she had one more defense, at the very least, just to make her a little bit more sturdy. We got the walls, which is wow, these things are like dense. These are like, I can't express like how heavy these things are. Like, I thought they'd be a little bit more hollow and light, but like that's heavy right there. That's loud. Yeah, but Xenothorax does suffer from placement, and I think it's a feature, not a bug. I think it's supposed to be hard to maneuver and hard to get next to her. Get some wall terrain right here. I will be going through and probably doing a quick tutorial on how to really make these stand out. Because I think how do these work? They just sit in the base? Maybe I'm missing parts. Always a fan of these. These are solidly made, though. That's pretty cool that they can act like that. Yeah, I think there's some fun. You probably have to use a dry airbrush for these. Really, I think add some unique, just really kind of flesh out these things, make them look less like pieces and kind of like actual interactive objects. So these just like sit on the tiles, or maybe there's more features. Oh, here's the basics. That's what I was missing. I was like, that felt like a custom for an iMake that didn't match up the hexes. There we go. Okay, so we have We have these. This is great. This is a good addition. Like, they feel like classic ruins, but there's a bit more modularity to them, which is nice. I'm still kind of figuring them out. I should read the instructions or something. There we go. I think that's how they work. Excited to see more of these in play. I like that you can have the standalone just pillars, you know, just kind of pillars. You don't have to connect them, which is fun. This is a really kind of great in between for you know, like castle. It's like castles, but not castles, which is nice. Definitely more modular ruins. Yeah, like ruins are great, but they're very limited, and they're yeah, these are really fun. I'm halfway tempted to like glue these together because I can't think of a reason why you would want them separate. Unless I'm missing something. I'm sure I am. I'm sure there's a reason they're separate pieces, but well, it's nice to get these little ends. Yeah, these are like just adjustable ruins, which is really nice. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. I'm happy with that. Like, that's going to be really fun for map makers to mess around with, I think. Does it goes horizontal? That's really cool. So you can, if you get enough of these, it does not go like that. You know, like it goes like that. I think you have to go here. That's really cool, though. That's a really interesting design piece. I wish there was there a way to curve them? Am I missing, or is it just not designed to like curve like out like this? Probably not. Probably with the expansion pack, they'll have some more like turn pieces. That's really cool. That's really nice. I think there's a lot people can do with these. Just for backgrounds, like I do, you know, a lot of like video stuff for this. Like just they are a little bit more finicky. I'm gonna have to probably read the rule book and see how to actually do these right, but as a person who uses this stuff for D&D, this is really nice. You can get buildings and probably doing this wrong. I feel like I'm missing. I'll mess around with these some more, but this is really fun. These are really cool. But they have a little bit of a wash on them just to make it not feel like flat plastic. I kind of wish they were a darker gray instead of this lighter gray. But I'm just impressed by how like heavy they are. Like they're really, really dense. I'll have to. These take a little bit more like brain work to figure out how to use in a map. But I think they're better line of sight blockers compared to some other things we have. And then we just have tiles, kind of stuff we've seen before. And then in the bottom, just the cards. And the big old pieces. I think Revna's card design is probably the best out of all of them. Let's see here. We have Revna. I think Ukkar is pretty low. Jandar, I don't like just because they're all like in a grassy field. Like it doesn't, I don't know, I just like it. Vidar's is pretty good. Yeah, Revenus is really good. Akila's okay. I wish it was more jungly. And yeah, nice sturdy cards. So I really like the bend of these. They feel a little bit thicker than classic cards. Like it's a heavier weight they used. All right. Put all these in a pile. I'm still organizing my pieces from ScapeCon, so piles of figures is what my life is right now. We got this. We have some more trees because I like trees. I like making big old forest. Here's my magic knife. It's just scissors. Open it. Shrink wrap here. All right. I do think it's a really big win for the game that they sell terrain-only packs. You know, not having figures attached to it. Some rules. Let's see what's all in this box here. All right. Wow. I really like these bushes. Like, look at that. Like that. It's like a lot glossier plastic. These cactus things are kind of weird, but I kind of like them. They're kind of big hunks of plastic. A little dry brush here will really make them pop. I'm just glad I got some more food. All right. So it comes with 3 big trees and a bunch of bushes. I bought like 2 more packs of trees. I don't know where I'm gonna store all this at, but you know what? I'm gonna go get. I'm gonna get some swamp terrain, and I just want to see how these kind of color match. Look. Keep this if you want to take photos. This is a nice backdrop. Pro tip. Alright, so we have some classic swamp terrain, which is supposedly coming back. So notice it's been mentioned before, we have a slight raise from these. Honestly, not the biggest issue for me. And I love the look of these swamp terrain. Look at that. That's really great. Right here, before this set, you can get the set for like 40 bucks in certain stores. Before this released, these trees were like $150 for a deal. Yeah, it is interesting to note that the placement of the trees is slightly important. Like, maybe it's not. I guess, yeah, because this changes the line of sight blocking compared to this. So that is an interesting feature, that it's kind of dependent. I don't know how much competitive will care about that, or if it really is like a thing, but I'm sure there'll probably be instructions on which direction to face the blockers. I see a bit of that connection issue here. But look at that. That's really great. And we got more. Really build some nice dense jungles. These jungle trees don't look like they're made to be put together. if it's don't have enough space between them. But like, I love these thick. Like you can really create some like really impressive. First time seeing trees in Scape. Happy with them overall. Yeah, it's great. It's a like trees are actually a terrain type that's like really beneficial to the game and you know the game state and the fact that not a lot of people had it for so long. Hey, look at that. So in terms of like how I make like my showcases and my videos, this is like it blocks my whole background off. You put some walls here. I'm really looking forward to that lava up here. That's pretty cool. This is like with one. Well, I guess with this release we have like more unique terrain than we got through like the light like line of sight blockers, and we got the whole lifeblood of Scape here. They released the icebergs and said this is pretty good. And I ended up making my own Dollar Tree hot glue gun and Arena of the Planeswalker Sandtails. Oh, that's a really fun idea. I never was forced to that position, but I did make some custom bamboo that I want to make a video about. That kind of operates a lot like jungle trees, but it's really cool for if you're playing Samurai. It looks really cool in the background. Yeah, really happy with these trees. Like, I'm happy I have 3 sets of these. I build very big. Sometimes I build really big, just non-competitive maps, just because it's fun with like my kids. We have a bit of bending here. That's not the end of the world, but it looks like those slightly bent there. But look how like dense this is. I love the kind of like it's bright and dense. It is just aquarium plants, but it's really cool. Good debuff against range. And it looks really great on Swamp Water Tile. The map creators are about to have a field day with us. You have no idea. That if on my YouTube channel I have that big kind of scrolling with all my pieces. I'm gonna have to redo it now with all these new pieces, which I've been meaning to do for a while anyways. So that's on my to-do list. Is just you had so much more to work with. Like I'm still getting my head around these. I don't think I've fully figured them out yet, but I like them. It's getting kind of late. I don't know if I'll open. I'm going to open just real fast the unpainted things and go through them. Just kind of speed around because they're the same things we saw before, but I would like to talk kind of about the detail on these figures. Now I remove my cool map pages. It's like heavy. It's a lot of plastic right there. So I eventually get into trees, like they're real trees. Yeah, I mean I'm really wondering what the aftermarket's going to be like with this new release. I think some things will get higher in price, some will lower. I'm hoping trees, like classic trees, lower for people as just a general unified front. All right, we got the unpainted battle box. Let's just fly through this real fast here. It's the same thing as the pre-painted, except it's not painted. It's all inventory. Now that the new release is finally back, have you been pretty much swamped with the orders recently? So here's the thing. So I mean I'm swamped in general, just with everything. I've had people ask about it, but honestly, I couldn't do a quick job on these guys. I would have to do kind of more of a. There's already a pre-painted option, you know, so I have to kind of offer something a bit different compared to the pre-painted option. I was like, I can do it better, but not necessarily cheaper, if that makes sense. But I've been getting a lot of people asking about it. Actually, I've been more busy working directly with Renegade, because I got some fun things going on with them, and they sent me those figures, so I just been going through trying to get these videos up for you all looking to paint your figures. But it takes a long time. I mean, I'm going through like 3 hours of footage, compressing it down to 15 minutes, you know. And now with this new release, I'm just wanting to dive in and start painting the other stuff without editing. But Renegade has asked me to do kind of some more painting tutorials. I want to be actually on their channel doing their mini Mondays coming in September. So that's a really exciting thing for me. Just kind of branching out past my channel, teaching more like a wider audience how to paint this stuff. And then kind of I will be doing a presentation next Renegade Con. So kind of similar to the last painting tutorial that was done by Nox for Evil Raylan. I will be doing that this coming one, so I've been kind of working on that. I got something pretty cool coming. I'm not going to spoil it now, but stay tuned. There's some fun stuff happening here. But yeah, people have been asking. I kind of you know, it just depends on what they want. If someone wants a really nice nicely done, you know, layering, kind of buff up more than what you can get pre-painted, then that's kind of what I would be here for. But honestly, I just like to encourage people to try it themselves. It's really not that hard to paint, but when it's unpainted like this, these are really well sculpted and well crafted models. They are designed really well for dry brushing. They're designed for very well, just like thin layers of paint to kind of build up. Like these sculptors, I don't know what sculptor they use, but they really just really went home. Like if these units can sing very easily. Like onto like the wings, you can separate the veins, you can do the tail, like so much. Oh, here's Fia Bonnie. I don't like Fia Bonnie, but I mean, I said ignore that about Fia Bonnie. And James Bush is looking forward to more tutorials. I've got some Prime Minis sitting on the table that I'm hesitant to start painting, so definitely looking forward to learning. Yeah, it's really great. Painting, I always say if I can paint, anyone can do it. Because I have arthritis in my hands. I have really shaky hands. And I have really bad small motor skills. And I just picked it up, mainly just it's kind of pandemic time, you know. I kind of dipped around it, but I really just fell in love with it during the pandemic. It kind of kept me sane. It kept me in from some really dark and bad places. Just gave me something to focus on. So that's why I'm really happy about it. It's very therapeutic. I probably paint every day. I have my kids play in the background, or they paint with me sometimes, um, and it's just a great way just to feel like you kind of produce something and feel kind of like you have some kind of significance, even if it's not a good paint. Even that's not the point. Is that when you play this game, you look at this and say, I created this. I put color on this, I put effort into this, and I care about this now. Like, okay, let's say Buck Burna. Buck Burna is okay. He's a fun guy, but you're not going to use him every match. But the time you spend painting Buck Burna, that's equitable time. That's time that you spent learning and improving yourself and learning new skills. Killian Vane, I actually painted up him recently, and he paints really well. Actually, let me go and get some of these pre-painted I did. I'll go grab some. Oh. Let's see. All right. So this is this is Killian Vane. That he is unpainted in his naked form. And then where's the pre-painted Killian? Somewhere around here. If I could find him. Yeah, you saw what he looks like. Like, he's good. He's not bad. Then just a little bit of effort. He looks like this. You get control over the colors. You get control over where you want it to go. You can kind of emphasize certain things. There you go. So like you really just kind of can. I even put them on a classic base just to see. You know, Buckburna. This is what you can get with Buckburna. If you just put a little bit of color on him. And so I definitely recommend that these are great models for someone looking to learn to paint. Like you get a bunch of them for pretty cheap, and cannot recommend these enough. If anyone has questions about the process, definitely feel free to reach out. I'd love to talk or walk you through it or give you whatever advice I can. I'm not the best painter in the world. Like there's people way better than me. You can never let that kind of bother you. You just gotta look at your own level and see kind of where you're at and what you're looking to do. Yeah, I even got the green base on this guy. I switched him out because I just wanted to. I haven't seen anyone put the official base on yet, so that's an actual sticker. Here's EJ. Like, look, 5 colors here, and this uses a textured base, which I really like. I think that's my preferred method. But you get like you get control of the colors in the cape, and you know. Like similar, like we're working with the same colors, but I just have a bit more control on the emphasis and the stories I want to tell. Like this guy, I added some texture to his arm plates and to his pants, just to show that he's been kind of through it. But since he's an animal, I made his chest plate very shiny and proper because I imagine that he took good care of it. There's this guy who's still in development, but I worked on like separating the greens and the different colors to kind of just make them catch the eye a bit better. So I don't know what I'm saying. I kind of just monologuing. And we got this guy. This one will be really fun. And a bunch more junk. Speed round, going through the unpainted. The attention to detail and lore that really make them pop. Yeah, it really is. I've heard some whispering that there's been some updates in the lore department. I don't want to dox anyone, so I won't say anything. But I heard that they are aware of the issue and that they are working on that. So the company really does listen. I think they really do care. There's a lot that's going into making this. You know, a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I would pay a bunch of money just to know everything that went down. You know, from the HasLab to the Renegade releasing it, all the stipulations and all the requirements and the timelines. I think it's just going to get better as time goes on. And from what I've seen so far, like, I don't want this to come off as negative. It's been really great. It's this. I'm a kid in a candy shop. Look at this giant box in my hands now. I'm living my dream right now. If you would ever ask me that, I'd be like making tutorials for this game that I love. I mean, it was kind of a big leap of faith to be like, yeah, I want to be the guy that paints pre-painted miniatures, you know? Hopefully that goes somewhere. And just to kind of have that come to fruition, that's really just it's a blessing. It's really cool. I'm living my best life now. And I mean, I don't want to say it's all related to this game. I don't want to be that narrow. Man, this is not releasing. But part of it is I really struggled. I'm giving this deep, meaningful talk, but I can't open the box. Man. This thing is a booger. Oh, you're totally welcome for those Capuans. Yeah, those they're really fun to paint up. Uh, I am. You're the one that sent me the demon. Yeah, I am working on the demons now. There, I love working with the metals. Metal figures. They're a bit hard to put together. That took a bit of finagling, but having worked in the 3D prints, the models, man, they look really. I love that there's actual texture and definition on them. I'm just gonna speed through this. Are there any figures I want to try an alternate color scheme with? Yes, a lot of them. Xenothrax. I've been kicking around some things. I made that video where I kind of experimented with the concepts of different colors for fun play. I might do that in like an AOA version of that. Because I've seen some fun ideas. I have some things like I probably will try a grizzly variant for the frost cloths, just to see how those look. Those are kind of that's an easy one. Let's see here. Xenothrax is going to get an alt color scheme like my own personal. I haven't decided on what I want to do yet. I haven't decided if I want to do kind of that classic, that first look we saw from the Avalon Hill campaign, or if I want to make it my own. Part of me wants to make it blue, like have a blue instead of yellow, and have kind of like blend into green tails to make it look like vines. That would be kind of a fun, different way to look at it. EJ is the minor thing, but I'm going to give him like the Vidar kind of blue colors. Just to see, make him feel like a classic Vidar Soulborg. Let's go through. Raylan, I've seen someone post a white Battle Cat. I'm back and forth. I only have one unpainted master set this time. But I also want to make it like a green Battle Cat, you know, like He-Man style. So I'm halfway tempted to do that. Raylan, I'll probably be doing something definitely unique with. I might even just make her like in a good variant, like her good colors, on a white Battle Cat. Sounds kind of fun. Gorham will probably just get a new color palette because I'm not the biggest fan of the red and yellow. I thought this guy would be kind of fun with like a birchwood variant, kind of like white, pale white. But the battle box has some unique ones too. Like, kind of want to paint this green, and all the beasts definitely could use a different color scheme besides brown. You know, do some really vibrant, cool colors with these guys. Just kind of going through this. I'm just going to resurrects. Let's get some more good Kyrie warriors in the mix here. Works pretty good. They all got this kind of wash on them. These figures are not primed, just so you know. If you're looking to paint them yourself, definitely prime them first. Typically, priming takes about 12 hours to fully cure, so don't prime it immediately. Start painting, and try to wash them because they kind of have a bit of residue. Most like PVC plastic does right out of the box. It's kind of just a bit of residue from the factory. Get some like Dawn soap and a toothbrush, scrub them down so the paint sticks a lot better. And there we go. I will be going live with these guys probably later, time permitting. Is there a figure that anyone want to see me paint live? Anyone in chat, let me know as I close things up here. And I try to put that on top of the list. But there we have it. Wave 1, big pile of figures. Look at this. Plastic, 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 plastic. I'm in heaven. So much plastic, not enough storage space. Pirates. There's a lot of pirates. Which one specifically? Okay. Well, this has been wave one of HeroScape release. It's just getting started. We got so much coming in the future. I'm like a kid in a candy store. Like, this is so exciting. Is it perfect? No. Is it great? Yes. There's a line of distinction between them. The Exiles. Okay. I'm actually working on those, so I will put the Exiles at the top of the list. That's probably good because I kind of need to re-record some parts anyway, so works out. Yeah, the Exiles are really fun. I can definitely work on those and maybe even do some teaching on how to make some cool power weapons. Yeah, that's a really good choice. Stay tuned. I'm going to start working on streaming kind of regularly, kind of getting that up and going now that my life has settled down a bit. I'm planning on doing it every Thursday. I'm going to call it No Gray Thursdays, but stay tuned as I'm a busy guy. I got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, HeroScape is back. Enjoy your new scape. Painting everything up. Yeah, I just getting started on this. There's no rest for the weary for sure. But man, I'm so excited. Thanks to everyone for sticking around and watching. It's been a really great chatting with you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to teach with painting or just talk about scape or offer any advice I am capable of. If you don't know what HeroScape is, like to get some yourself, I do have an affiliate link, so you can check that in the description below. Actually, not in this video because it's not here, but later it will have it. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm going to call it a night, and everyone take care. Expect more stuff from me soon. I got some really fun things working. Finishing up Night Irene tutorial now, focusing on how to add some wear and tear to your models. And then I have a really fun project I've been working on for a couple months. That's about to go into production, where I pitch my next bout of flag bearers. So we got artists do some custom art for that. Really excited about it. It's going to be a really fun project. And a bunch of other stuff. I'm going to be around. I'm just getting started, but I'm tired, so I'm going to let you all go. Bye.